Hello everybody, my name is Loreborn and I'm the developer of the patch 2.22 launcher for Battle for Middle-earth. This is going to be an installation video showing you how to get the launcher on your computer, as well as covering a couple of issues that might come up, hiccups during installation. First things first, you're going to need to download patch 2.22's launcher from the ModDB page. You can find the link for this in the Discord or in the description of a number of YouTube videos. Click under the Files tab, the Battle for Middle-earth 1 launcher, and click Download Now. If this doesn't automatically start downloading, simply click the Download BFME launcher and allow that to download. I've already downloaded this file, so I'm not going to download it again. But once this is done, in your Downloads directory, you're going to have the Battle for Middle-earth launcher.7zip.7z. You'll need to extract this file first. If you do not have an archival tool like 7zip or WinRAR, you're going to need to go and download 7zip or WinRAR to unarchive this file. Right-click if you have 7zip in this case. If you have WinRAR, it'll say something else, but you want to extract to Battle for Middle-earth launcher directory. This is going to take all of the files inside of this zip or this .7zip archive and put them in the Battle for Middle-earth launcher folder. You can delete the archive afterwards if you'd like. Once this is done, you're pretty much good to go. However, there are a number of issues that might come up that will prevent you from using the launcher properly. The first one is, in general, especially if you're on a laptop or if you're not a person who plays a lot of video games, you're going to want to go ahead and run the UE4 prereq setup x64 executable. Simply double click it. This is going to download and install DirectX on your device. Now, you might think you have the correct version of DirectX, but in general, you can run this, and if you have this version of DirectX already, nothing will happen. And if you don't have this version of DirectX, it'll install it for you. But if you don't have the correct version of DirectX, the launcher will not work properly. So in general, it's safe to just run this first if this is the first time installing the launcher. There's also a README, covers a number of use cases for the launcher. Take some time to read through that to better understand how the launcher works, as well as modifying the launcher. One other additional issue you might run into is that this Battle for Middle-earth launcher folder that I've installed is currently in my Downloads folder, and I can move that to my desktop, and that will work perfectly fine. However, you cannot move this Battle for Middle-earth launcher folder with the Battle for Middle-earth launcher files into a program files directory. So if you go to your local disk C drive, you're going to see program files 86 and program files. You cannot put the Battle for Middle-earth launcher in either of those two directories. Windows protects these two directories for properly registered installation software, which this is not. This is a portable executable, which means you can put it in any place. You can even put it directly in your C drive if you'd like, or on an external drive. But you cannot put it in Program Files or Program Files 86. Another thing that you might want to do, particularly if you're not 100% sure about your administrator status on your computer, is to right-click Battle for Middle-earth Launcher.exe, click Properties, Compatibility, and ensure that Run this program as administrator is ticked to True. This is already set on mine because I've already downloaded this file. It will not be set to true for yours. Simply click it on, click Apply, push OK. Every time you run the launcher, it'll run with administrator privileges, which is absolutely required in order for the launcher to alter files inside of the Battle for Middle-earth directory, as well as to launch software like Game Ranger and T3A Online. Inside of the Battle for Middle-earth launcher folder, you're going to find 5 music files and the image default PNG. These are the default background image as well as the default music. So if you'd like to change the music, you can simply replace these files with your own music if you want. Just ensure that they're .wav files named the exact same for each individual theme. And finally, when you launch Battle for Middle-earth Launcher.exe, if you do not have Battle for Middle-earth installed, it will guide you through the installation of Battle for Middle-earth 1. I have Battle for Middle-earth 1 launched or installed on my computer, so it will not pop up that option, but you will see a pop-up notifying you to download and install Battle for Middle-earth on your first use of this launcher if you do not have Battle for Middle-earth 1 installed already. In this case, my screen goes gray because it needs administrator privileges, and let's just not get copyright strike. Everything should look like this. In this case, I already have patch 2.22 installed, but I'm going to go ahead and delete these just to show you that if this is the first time using the launcher, you will have a big green glowing update button. Go ahead and click this, and this will install patch 2.22. And anytime an update is released for 2.22, this will start glowing green again. So let's go ahead and update. You're going to see that we slowly download the patch files, or as quickly as the server can handle. And this should take no more than a handful of minutes to complete, at least for patch 2.22. Again, for Battle for Middle-earth 1, as well as T3A Game Ranger, the times to download vary, but for patch 2.22, only a handful of minutes. If the installation takes longer than that, or if it gets stuck at any point, you need to check your antivirus, because certain antivirus software might erroneously think that the launcher is performing malicious actions. So you'll want to disable your antivirus when using the launcher, or add it to your exclusions for your antivirus if you know how to add software exclusions to your antivirus. Because the launcher modifies a number of installed files, such as the patch files for Battle for Middle-earth and the default asset data file for Battle for Middle-earth, very strict antivirus software might take this as a sign that the launcher is malicious. But in reality, we simply need to modify the vanilla Battle for Middle-earth files in order to get the patches working correctly on each individual installation. Once the download is installed, you're going to be notified with a lovely little sound. And you're going to have the new version, 2.22, in this case version 2.1, and a currently disabled optional file, which includes all of the visual tweaks that have been considered non-necessary to allow the patch to run. So if you do not want these visual changes, such as portraits that have been altered, you can leave this turned off. Or if you wanted the new portraits, you can turn it on and use those new portraits. It doesn't matter whether you have it on or off. You can play with other users, whether they have it on or off. That doesn't matter. If you have Shadow and Flame or Battle for Middle-earth HD Edition installed on your machine, you will see these two buttons. If you do not, you will not see these two buttons. You will have to install those mods separately from their ModDB pages. When you install these mods, if you install them to their default directory, that is the location that the mods normally set themselves to install, these buttons will pop up automatically. If you change the installation directory for these mods to, say, an external drive or to your documents folder, you will need to edit the config file inside of, you'll see we now have a config.txt since we've now run the launcher. And in this config, you do not want to edit this configuration file unless you absolutely know what you're doing. And in this case, the only lines that you would want to change are the Shadow and Flame directory override and the HD Edition directory override to the directory path, which should look like this, but for wherever your mod is currently installed. So in this case, C:// if you put it in documents, it would be your username /documents /Shadow and Flame, wherever that mod is installed. And if this directory is correct, then the launcher will automatically populate that button. Only modify the config text file while the launcher is closed. Attempting to modify the config file while the launcher is open may cause issues with the launcher. So you would want to quit the launcher, modify the config, and then reopen the launcher. That should be it for major issues and concerns. Like I said, big things you're going to want to do: ensure that you're running the launcher as administrator. Ensure that you are running the Battle for Middle-earth launcher outside of your program files directories, either in documents, desktop, root C, an external drive, something like that. And really, as long as you follow those basic instructions, you should have no problems. Thank you again for using our patch launcher. Feedback is always great. Please give us any recommendations, concerns, criticisms in our Discord. Additionally, you can @Loreborn if you have specific issues with the launcher itself. I don't work on the patch, I just work on the launcher. I'm not very familiar with Battle for Middle-earth, but fortunately we have a number of very skilled team members who do work on the patches that can help you with patch-specific issues, such as corrupt asset.dats, patch bugs or glitches, and things like that that are unrelated to the launcher. Thank you again, and have a good rest of your day.